In our fast-paced world, we're constantly bombarded with information. Faces, sounds, the words in a book, or the ding of the oven timer. But not all of this information sticks. In fact, some things we simply forget. Although it's frustrating when we simply cannot recall something, like a commitment to a friend to be at a party, the toast in the oven, or the chapter material despite hours of studying, the ability to forget is actually a blessing. Let's dive into the fascinating science behind forgetting and why it's not always a bad thing. Imagine your mind being cluttered with way too many memories. It would be hard to think about abstract things or to organize your thoughts. In the 1920s, there was a man named Solomon Shershavinsky who struggled with this exact problem. He could remember incredible amounts of random information, like sections of Dante's Inferno in Italian, but the inability to forget things was actually debilitating for him. The ability to forget then is not only necessary for focus, but it also helps us to think more clearly. Forgetting allows us to let go of unimportant things, like random memories of commercials, random dance routines, phone calls, or that 4th grade essay, so that we can remember what matters most. Now let's explore why we forget. First, there's the encoding failure. Imagine walking past a familiar logo like the Apple symbol. You've seen it hundreds of times, but could you draw it from memory? Probably not. That's because your brain never encoded it properly. We often fail to notice the details that could become memories. Next, we have the storage decay. Over time, memories simply fade. Hermann Ebbinghaus, a pioneering memory researcher, found that forgetting happens quickly at first, but then levels off. We forget most of what we learned soon after, but what sticks tends to stick for a long time. Ever wonder why you can still recite that song you learned for a show half a decade ago? When it sticks, it stays. And finally, we have the retrieval failure. Sometimes the memory is still there, but we just can't access it. This is what happens during the frustrating tip of the tongue moment when you can almost recall something, but not quite. This problem often happens with aging or when our minds are overloaded with information. Forgetting can also be caused by interference. Sometimes old memories make it hard to remember new information. For instance, learning a new password might make you forget your old one.
I am just trying to log in, not hack my account, computer!
Another reason we forget is motivated forgetting. Sigmund Freud suggested that sometimes we forget painful or uncomfortable memories because our minds want to protect us.
I don't feel well. How many cookies did you eat? Emmy? Well, I forgot. But I might have forgotten that information on purpose.
To review, we covered why forgetting is important. Without it, we'd be overloaded by way too much information, just like Solomon Shershavinsky, who couldn't forget. We also learned through Henry Malaysian's inability to form new conscious memories that there are different systems involved in our memory, working together in different ways. We also discussed the 3 causes of forgetting: a failure to encode the information, a storage decay, and retrieval failure. We also covered how interference and motivated forgetting can factor into the inability to recall information. So the next time you forget something, it's okay.
Has anyone seen the keys?
Well, most of the time it's okay. Forgetting is an essential part of how we process and prioritize information. It helps us focus and protects our mental space to free it from unneeded clutter. In the big picture, forgetting isn't a flaw, it's actually a blessing.